pad, you'd be ready to build a building there. Sometimes you have a building already, but shovel-ready usually means you're ready to build a building there and operate. So, that's a standard economic development response to what shovel-ready means.
Thank you.
Question for you. You're doing a joint thing. Is the joint thing possible with grants and fundings and other routes by joining two towns together? Is that a better option? Other than having more space, but possibilities of getting more funding when you do 3 school district, 2 villages, and a park district. The more we get involved, the more chance we have funding,
Well,
possibly.
for real quickly, you'd have more state representatives that would be affected by the decision, so you would have more advocates to look for funds down in Springfield. So that's one way it could be advantageous. Also, schools have access to certain funds that we don't have access to as a village. Villages have access to funds that schools don't necessarily have access to, and even park districts have, options. So I would say yes, but I don't know any specific. I don't have a specific answer of how that would be. This facility that we're standing in or sitting in, we all know that $10 million, more than half of the cost of this, most of this building came from one grant from the state, and that was from working hard with the former trustee, former president of the village to obtain that money in Springfield.
Question, and maybe Greg knows. For OSLAD grants, it doesn't have to be our village money that goes into that. So like if we were to get an OSLAD grant and Addison came and they had a grant and the school district got another grant, could those be combined into one, or is the OSLAD only our village money? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I usually, each individual organization will apply for an OSLAD grant for their specific recreation project. I don't know if there's ever been like 3 or 4 communities that.
Like, we apply for the OSLAD and the school applies for theirs and we get 2 out of maybe 3. Can they be commingled, is what I'm saying, the grants?
That's a question we'd have to ask the DNR.
Yes, I have one more, and it might be a Greg question, but it wouldn't be something expected of an answer tonight. But we currently are sharing the facilities over at Sugar Creek with Elmhurst. That's the only amenity that I'm familiar with as a village that we do share between 2 different entities. As we progress with these conversations, I would be interested in learning more about our village's perspective of the pros and the cons of these shared community amenities as we decide if we want to get involved with Addison or the high school or anyone else. What pros and cons are we feeling we're going to encounter in doing so, and then be able to weigh that against our direction to move forward with that pool.
I have one more question. Are we hoping by this joint endeavor that we could get the referendum thing pulled off the plate? Because in the past, it's been stated that the only way we're going to get a pool is by going through the referendum.
That's a question. I don't know. I can't
Okay.
answer that. I mean, look at our debt, what we have coming in the future. I would say somewhere after 2031 things get a little lighter, but I don't know.
No, okay.
I mean, we were able to prove that we could build this facility without
going that
requiring
route,
a
right.
tax increase. I don't know. There's too many variables.
Okay, I just wondered, because I know that is a big issue that got up when we started talking about pools. I know we don't want to go referendum route or make more taxes and whatever, so I
Right.
was just wondering.
When you say it's in early stages, are we inchworming into it? Or, I mean, is this something we're going to see before I die, or?
I don't know.
before I'm in a senior's home? I mean, are we looking at 2 years, 4 years, 10 years, 12 years? I mean, the way the talks are going, I mean, I know you can't look into your crystal ball, but are the talks going good, and are they somewhat aggressively interested?
Well, I mean, we don't, this is still at an early stage, I'll say
Infant
that.
stages.
D88 has plans for future projects. They're looking at their capital needs. So this is not a 2-year or 3-year before we start. I would say this is farther than that out before we, get down to the point of,
Negotiations
well,
or,
seriously saying whose responsibility is what. But I think the discussion we need to continue to have that discussion. If a piece of land came forward that would work perfectly, I think that we might have to move faster. So the answer to that question is it's still early. The discussions are just now. I think this is the first time we've really talked about
Okay.
the fact that we've had even so low level of a discussion that it's just staff right now.
yeah, and that was something that I brought up in the meeting, because I had just heard it at street level, and I'm like, I didn't know. And I don't know if anyone knows, but doesn't Addison Park District already have a pool, so it would be Addison?
They have just the indoor pool. They let their other pool go.
They closed, they're
So
out.
it would be Addison Trail High School, D88, and our village, possibly?
Well, I think my understanding is that Addison Park District closed their pool.
They did.
They
They're
closed
their outdoor pool.
They have an indoor with their
Indoor
rec
pool
center,
only.
small.
It's very small.
It's not a competition.
No.
It's not big enough to be used for, say, Mariners or the Willowbrook High
Okay,
School
thank you,
team.
that's what I was getting at.
So,
Willowbrook
now
used to
they-
practice there, but it was not
you
really.
can't run a meet in it.
Yeah, I think
Too
they
small
moved
to run a
over to
meet.
COD. too.
Yeah, so both Willowbrook and Addison go to COD for
Is the public gonna be allowed to use the pool?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, the village would not be interested in getting into an arrangement where it was only for schools use. There would be time available for the village, obviously. There would be time set aside for open play or whatever at the pool. And whether it was an indoor, outdoor, or part outdoor and part indoor facility or indoor facility, those still haven't been determined. D88 definitely wants a competition indoor pool as part of this. So
I know that we're putting the ball fields, the pickleball courts back here. Is there any possible way to move 2 ball fields over to where Jackson is and put a pool back here in due time?
It's not our property.
An outdoor?
Since
not our
pool.
property.
Jackson's not
Jackson's
ours.
School district.
No, the,
Or either is Jefferson. Those
Jefferson
fields
is not-
belong to the school district.
Jefferson Pool is on village property.
Right.
so would that
But
be
the
big enough for
fields
one
aren't.
baseball field if that were ever to come down?
He'd be about a person.
We'd have to look at the overall dimensions and what we wanted on the entire site
No,
to see if. it
I
would
thought
fit.
there was an option presented by the people we hired, I can't remember where they were now, that did have an option of a pool in the back to be added later, but the cost, as reviewed by the board, was.
Here
not-
at this site.
Yeah, at
yes.
this site.
Yes.
But that was,
That
that was an option they presented, but it was,
Not
we
worth
didn't have the money
money.
for it, right? So,
right, and not worth it for that amount of time.
well, it's just the money, right? If you had the money,
Yeah.
we'd have a pool out back.
There were a lot of people in the community that didn't want to give up 2 baseball fields that were lit.
Well, that's why I was wondering if one of those fields would go.
There's only one field back there now.
Yes.
There's only one field on Lions right
We
now.
needed the space for the,
It could work over at where the current pool is.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
You know,
the pool,
but-
pool that's over there, if we transferred the baseball field here over there, could we do a pool in back of this building and then do a combined membership outdoor, or are we just not?
well, you are
thinking way ahead. I'll be in a walker by the time it ever transpired, but thought I'd throw it out there.
Is like a pool, would it be like the size of the gym? Is that like how big the pool would be? Or would it be the size of this whole building?
The pool that, the school district wants?
No, if we built a pool onto this
Oh,
facility,
it would be bigger than the
It would
gym,
have to be bigger than the gym.
so like half the size of this building.
maybe more. I
Well,
mean,
you-
it's
Okay,
Just
I'm
think of
just
the
wondering-
size, the
deck space. And
our current pool is pretty large, and it's actually small as far as the lanes to run a competition or a meet in. It's actually relatively small compared to at least the Mariner teams and the high school teams that we go to for away meets. So it would take up most of that space, I would think, if we were gonna do something like that. But again, I think I just want to comment, just that it's awesome that you're thinking ahead and thinking out of the box, and, I know that, Willowbrook is, kind of needs an indoor pool for their team, so does Addison Trail, so it'd be great if we could share some of that financial burden. That would be fantastic. But, so, let's hope those conversations bear fruit.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah,
coming.
thank you very much.
I have questions, but I'm not going to ask them. Because Greg would say, Gina, you're good.
Okay, that
All right.
microphone closer.
Thank you very much.
I talked 50 minutes at the last
You got
meeting. I need to,
Put the microphone closer.
Yes. Ones like those chess timers, maybe?
Yes, that's a great idea.
Is that good?
You should put a 3-minute timer on me.
I don't know, you're just getting so excited on all this stuff that you just have to share it is
I
the
guess.
problem.
All right, so moving on to the department staff updates, and Gina, we'll go ahead and start the timer.
Okay.
Look at the clock.
Okay, gosh, it's another good month here, the month of February. We had 19 senior programs, 227 registered. We did have to cancel, or we did choose to cancel birthday bunch and lunch for the month of February because it was falling on the day of the snow. So it would have been 20 and it would have been a higher number, but, things like that happen. And the group of people that would have attended were appreciative that they didn't feel like they needed to go out and face, that weather. So spring soccer registration is going on right now. That season will begin, games will start April 12th and run through May 31. There will be no soccer on May 24th. We are sending out constant contact and going on, posting stuff on our social media to get people excited about spring soccer. I'm hoping the weather this week makes a difference. Aquatics, kind of going with the theme here. We're in the process of sending out letters to previous staff to see who is interested in returning for this year. We have already received applications for lifeguards, which is great. And the spring lifeguarding class will meet on 4 Sundays at COD, starting on April 27th. Jefferson Pool this year will open on, if the board approves it, the Saturday before Memorial Day. The plan is to be open that Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from 12 to 6. The hours are a little bit different because then we close again because Willowbrook is still in session. So they'll be in school that following week. But I was getting a lot of pressure from certain people about let's open on Memorial Day weekend, and so we're going to give it the college try and hope that we can do that, especially with rearranging the hours a little bit and allowing time for the students to be able to still study and prepare for their exams the following week. Again, that's a recommendation we'll be making to the board, and they will get to decide if that is okay, if that sounds good. Two new early childhood programs. We have this toddler playtime. We're averaging about 16 toddlers every week. However, that is a parent comes with them, so it's like an open gym for toddlers. So the gym has anywhere from, 28 to 35 total people in it when that program is going. And we haven't offered something like that before, and it's really taking off. We also are offering ceramics for early childhood. We're working with create your own cupcake plate ceramics at Nadine, where I kept saying, what's the thing called that you put this?
Kiln?
Where's the kiln? But she takes it with her and fires it at her location and then brings it back. Thanks. I couldn't remember that. Little Learners is an activity we had going, and it continues to go, averages 32 to 40 participants a week. And we are receiving registrations for preschool 25-26. We have 26 enrollees at this point, which is about 10 ahead of where we were last year. Youth, we did a new program, Glitzy Girls Winter Fantasy Princess Glam Night, had 9 participants, and an intro to cooking with our fantastic kitchen here. We had 9 participants for youth. Summer camp, registration opens March 17th. We tried that last year, opening early before the summer brochure went out, and we had a really good response to it, so we're doing it again this year. And we're in the process of interviewing camp counselors to work in the camp. Events, we have Princess Ball is scheduled for March 21st. We have 36 participants registered. That was going to be held in this room. We're going to see how that goes. Last year at this time, we had 22. We have the egg hunt on Saturday, April 12th. That's a bit of a ways off, so we only have a handful of people registered. There were more last year, but Easter was earlier last year. We have Mom and Son Night, Friday, May 9th at Sugar Creek Golf Course. That's a ways off. But we have 11 participants registered in that, and last year at this time we had 6. And then we are starting the planning for Summer Festival, which says June 21st on here, but I saw June 22nd. So whatever the Saturday is, that's the date of the event, and I apologize that. Greg, do you have a calendar?
21st.
21st, okay, it's right on the report. Fitness Center, we've had 559 daily admissions since we opened on January 3rd. $3,791. And we have, this is through the end of February. I decided I'm going to give this report for the prior month. So through February 28th, we've had 1,144 memberships, paying memberships, and 61 employee memberships. That's $148,500. Through the 28th of February. Total is 1,205 people. When you add the employees to the number of paid memberships. Through the 28th of February, we've had 9,138 visits, which is 57 days and an average of 160 people per day. So that's been kind of holding steady. I think last month when I gave this report, I think we were at like either 156 or 159, somewhere in there, average per day. So that's program, events, membership updates. I'll stop if you have any questions.
I got a few. Camp counselors and lifeguards, are we doing career nights at the high schools for
We are.
this? And Glass Courts in Lombard is closing.
Yes, I read that.
Kind of a heads up. And I thought this was brought before the board, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. Tina had asked about the first responders. Wouldn't they be covered under staff getting free memberships? Was it the police and,
All of
All
our,
the
all of the
staff.
village
All-
employees get free membership,
okay.
Full-time and,
full-time.
and part-time, but,
And that does include police and fire?
yes.
Correct.
Yes, we have quite a few.
Awesome, thank you.
And then wasn't there, brought to the board for veterans at one point? I don't know if that ever got okayed.
The Northeast DuPage Special Rec Association, we work with them, we're a member agency, and they have a program for veterans that if the veterans have a disability or PTSD, they're able to sign up through NESDRA and get a free membership to any of the member agencies. And there's also trainers. We're going to try to get a couple of our trainers trained through NESDRA so they can run programs over here for the veterans. But they have to sign up through NESDRA, and then they get free
So
membership.
then NESDRA contacts you, and then we just do the paperwork, so it has to go through NESDRA before it comes through us?
They have to sign up through NESDRA, correct?
Okay.
We met with NESRA and talked with the supervisor who's in charge of that, and we're ready to go when they are. So what happens is, they go to different facilities, and then Villa Park would be one of their facilities. But we have to go through the training.
Are we on the Silver Sneakers waiting list?
We are. Right now, what they're saying is that there are too many sites available in this area, and they want to wait until something else opens up.
Yeah, because I know with Glass Courts closing, there were the Silver Sneakers, and I forgot what the other program is. It's like Real Life or whatever it's called. They did the Silver Sneak membership, so that's one less in the area.
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe
Maybe
we'll
we
be
can
able
get
to
it.
get
it
involved
up.
in that. The only other thing, we briefly talked, or actually, we talked at length, I should say, last meeting, about pools and fees and so forth. I believe that will be on the village board agenda. I'm pretty sure we've confirmed it for March 24th. So, the conversation we had last time is the group was in favor of holding the line on the fees. And so that's what I'll be presenting in my memo and so forth.
Was the hours included in Jefferson too? I know we talked about the rates, but the hours?
I
They're on
think,
your sheet.
I think it's on, yeah, that,
It's on the sheet.
yeah.
Sheet we
I
got.
think I
Yeah,
sent out
okay.
to everyone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I got that at home, printed at home.
Yeah, it's on, the hours are on it.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions or any additional questions? So- All right. Moving on to Parks, Building, and Grounds Division update. Right.
11 minutes.
11? I'll be sure.
Well done.
It was 50
All right.
last time, so.
I'll work it through it quick. Current completed park facility projects. Over at Village Hall, we began the improvements to the IT office on the upper level with some initial removals and some demo work. We obtained initial permit for the work, but we're working to revise some drawings. We're holding until then to revise our drawings and better provide.
One second. These microphones are so that you can hear it when it's streaming, but it does not broadcast voices in the room.
Brian, speak.
So it does just
Okay, all right, I will.
try to be a little bit.
At our police department, we've just met and are in the planning and beginning stages for second-level improvements. These improvements over there would include some new flooring throughout their main level. They have carpeting right now that it's been there, I think most of it's been there since they built the building in 2004, I think it was completed, so they could use the new carpet. Also would be repairing the walls and painting, and some new furniture. Police department has some grant funding that they've obtained for these things, so they're looking to use that here in 2025 to improve their facility. the fire station improvement project. Construction documents for these projects, that is the Fire Station 81 improvements, Fire Station 82 improvements, and the changing of the Iowa Community Center into a temporary station. Construction documents for the project are near completion. We have a few more meetings to finalize everything. We're looking to have this project out to bid fairly soon, in the next, hopefully next week or so. A tentative project schedule. I know we kind of briefly asked last week, we were asking for a schedule, so hopefully out to bid in the next week or so. And then pre-bid meeting with contractors would be about mid-March. Bid opening would be anticipated for about early April. Scope review, present the project to the village board to approve about mid to late April. And then if that goes through and approved, procurement and gaining everything is estimated to take about 16 to 20 weeks, which would take us from about May into August. And then construction phase of the project would begin in about August and estimated through December. The Jefferson Pool liner. The installation of the liner was nearly completed before winter. There's a small area of the deep end is still to be completed, as well as a few other final details, tie-ins, and we have to reinstall a few things that were linered around when they went through it. Spoke with Aquapure this week. The company is working in the area currently, and they're looking to come out here and review where everything is at with our liner and what is still to be completed. This week, they're looking to do that. And then next week, they're hopeful to be out to work to complete our liner before the season. So they're trying to take advantage of this warm weather that we're having now, and then into next week as well. Looks like it's going to be nice. I just found that out today, by the way.
Great.
So. And once the liner is completed, we'll walk through everything with Aquapure to make sure that it meets everybody's standards, that we're all happy with everything, and then we'll fill this new-looking pool. We also completed our routine maintenance on most of our things over winter, trash cans, picnic tables. We're working now to trim trees and bushes in our parks and our facilities, cleaning up landscape areas, and working to prepare for the upcoming spring, summer season. We're also taking advantage of the warm weather. Upcoming projects, with the Lions Park baseball field that we were briefly talking about before. We're trying, with the upcoming grant project, we're working to coordinate improvements to this existing baseball field around that project. Not exactly sure on the timeline yet, if it's going to happen, when it will happen, but we're moving toward that happening. We're going to move the field a bit to add space around it, regrade the infield, add new fencing, add a home run fence. The High Ridge baseball field, we're working with youth baseball and sports fields, companies' sports fields, to make improvements before this season to the High Ridge baseball field. Sports field is going to clean up the infield, redefine the turf edges, install new field material, and then drag and regrade the field. So that is all I have.
Just one question on the pool liner. Are we at risk at not having it completed before we open the pool, or is that no risk at all? Okay.
Correct,
Thank you. Donna?
10-year liner warranty, is that from the date of the purchase or the date of the final install and the blessings given that we're okay with it?
Once it's completed and installed, the warranty will begin.
That's when it's executed?
Yeah, so yeah, it won't be 10 years from when they started in 2024. It'll be 10 years from when we
Thank you.
take ownership of it in 25.
Any other?
Question for you. On that liner, you said they were coming out. Is that to do the final parts that they left on the line, or is this a check?
To finish it, yeah.
To finish it, okay, they're
Yeah.
trying to hit it in the
Yeah.
warm
They're-
weather
they're
to finish
hopeful to
what
do that.
wasn't done, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. There, for the 3 buildings, the fire station, the 2 fire stations in Iowa Center, are those open bids? We're
Yeah. It will
having
go to
open bids,
a
right?
public bid, yeah,
Public bidding on it?
Yes.
And then have the regular opening, that we're not, okay.
correct.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Brian. Update from the Director of Parks and Recreation?
Good evening. We met with Upland Design and Hacienda Landscaping February 19th or 20th, somewhere around there, to discuss the OSLAD project that's going to be starting this spring. And they look to get started as soon as the weather breaks and start with some concrete out here and start from this corner and work with the passive senior pergola area with some game tables, benches, and then go to the playground, install the playground. This is the first playground that we have a poured-in-place surface. We've had the AstroTurf surfaces at the last few parks, Iowa and Lufkin, of course, and then we're trying something new with the poured-in-place. Want to get away from the engineered mulch because that seems to blow all over the place and get into manholes and sewers and stuff. So we're really excited about the poured-in-place surface and the playground, and then they'll continue to work. There's going to be some sidewalks by the building, some fencing, and then the pickleball and basketball court will be probably the last thing they do over here on the north side. And then, of course, then we have the story walk in that little area, the little piece of land over there. We'll do the story walk, a meandering sidewalk, and butterfly gardens, and some bench seating out there. So hopefully, it depends on how March, March comes in like a lion,
And, yep,
you know, so.
like a lion, out like a
yeah.
lamb.
So hopefully we have some good weather. If we don't start in March, we'll get started in April and get that project rolling and hopefully finish by June or July, I believe their timeline is. So by midsummer, fingers crossed, we'll have a lot of new amenities for our residents to enjoy. Brian mentioned about working some of the baseball fields. We're meeting with Villa Park Youth Baseball. We always have a kickoff meeting in February, March with the people from youth baseball to discuss the upcoming baseball season. So we'll be meeting with them tomorrow and talking about our projects and how they can help and what we can do for them. One last bit of thing that we need to do at Lovekin Park, we ordered signage, informational signage, that we received October, November of last year. So we're once again, same thing with once the weather breaks, we'll install those signage. We have 7 signs. And I have some illustrations if anybody wants to look at them, but those signs are, one of them is aquatic plants, keys to a healthy pond. It's all informational. Pond ecosystems, ponds and wetlands that are rich in wildlife. The wetlands rest stop for migratory birds. Monarch butterfly is another sign. Life cycle with amazing changes of the butterflies. Help native bees, providing food and shelter for pollinators. So this is all good information folks can even take home with them and do some gardens that will help our bees. There's also a sign with pollinator gardens and the flowering plant life cycle and how plants grow and reproduce. So it's all kind of just general information that we want to share with the residents. And that'll be located throughout around the pond at Lovekin. And so people can walk and stop and read and get some information on that. So we're looking forward to installing those, hopefully by tomorrow? No. Hopefully April, early May, when people are coming out to enjoy the park. And then we'll also touch base within the next month or two, maybe our next meeting, about when we're going to open up the spray pad. It'll probably be in May. So. And we're all set with our summer concerts. I know we're going to be working on summer programs if we haven't already.
Yep, we're
And
doing
so
it.
our summer concert schedule for June and August is already set. So summer's right around the corner, which is nice. So
We can walk right over there.
walk right over there. And that's all I have.
Brian, can you or Brian remind us, with the change in functional use of Iowa Community Center, are we planning to keep that playground functional?
That playground is an OSLAD grant playground. We have to keep it functional for 20 years. Otherwise, we lose that grant money. And it was not only the playground, it was the skate park and the shelter and the natural area. So
But even with the fire guys in there, that playground will remain functional.
we have to keep it functional, yes.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
I've got several questions. We had talked about the ice signs and the dogs on a leash signs. Is that in the process?
Yeah, we just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Okay.
It's on our
and-
list.
And the signage for the migratory birds and stuff, are those going to have QR codes additionally to them or just printed?
No, they don't have QR codes on them. They're just, you can come and look at these illustrations that I have.
Just, it
Um,
tells you
it's-
about the,
Tells you plant life, animal life, those type of things. I know with Brian, we've worked on QR codes for when, if there's a playground under repair, we'll put a QR code up and kind of folks can go to that QR code and see when the playground will be repaired and a time frame, those type of
and I
things.
know we had talked to, I think it was Dan, about the gravel at the sensory garden at Lufkin, that they were going to do something
Did
different
we
with it.
change that out? Yep.
Yeah, I
It's,
thought you lived right there.
We changed that out.
You changed it out?
It is changed.
It's AstroTurf.
I did not see that.
Perfect Turf actually came out and volunteered the material and the time at no cost to help us change it over.
And when you guys went to, in January, did they kind of give any idea on what the grants were going to be this year? Past years, they've been like 400,000,
Well, it went up
previous
to
years.
600,000 this past year, and I don't think it's gonna go up, they just raised it. So that's the grant that we have for out here at Lions, $600,000.
So it's stated.
It's up to 600, and they,
And
so
matching-
if you had a $600,000 project, it pays 50%. So if you had a $600,000 project, you would get $300,000 in the OSLAD grant. We have a $1.2 million project.
Okay, and, I'm going to ask this every year, do we have a Motown band?
Not this year. Yeah, I looked at those couple of Motowns, and they were just way out of our price range. But we do have a good lineup.
With connection with Lufkin and them doing the Ardmore section, are our residents going to get notice if that park's still going to be open for them? Because I know we've got the traffic study going on. We've got Ardmore Road section eventually on that in front of it, now that we've got our beautiful park in order.
We're not planning on closing, no.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, they're not going to do anything to cause people not to be getting into the park, right?
Not
you
that I know of, no.
Okay,
No.
because hopefully Mike will let you know that,
Well,
especially
we will have.
at conversations in the
we-
future that we'll know.
As
if
much as
they're-
we can, we won't allow that. But,
Okay.
no, we don't want that to happen. We want to keep
Well,
the parks
that's what I
open.
mean, we've got our beautiful park and now,
Yeah, we're not going to close, especially for this, really the first full summer.
okay.
Any other questions? Right. Moving on to the next agenda item. Is there any unfinished business? Believe so?
I had a question.
Yeah, Mike?
How many handicap parking spots are there
Where at, Mike?
for
Lufkin?
Lufkin?
for this facility?
For this
Or
facility?
here?
Yeah.
I
I
believe
think
we
it's one
have,
for every 25, isn't it?
we have 3 right out in front here.
Okay.
And we have 35, I don't think it's 40. We have 35, 39 spots right out here.
Okay.
Isn't there a ratio, like for every 25
There
spots,
is,
you
there's a-
usually have
there-
one, or it's
Yeah.
20-something?
Yeah. So we've,
Right. we're
the architects
in our ratio.
followed the guidelines and parameters.
Any other commissions before we move on, any other questions before we move on to the next agenda? item? Okay, excellent. Is there any new business? I don't believe so. Okay, good. All right, that brings us to the commissioner comments. Christine, do you have any comments?
I have no comments tonight, thank you.
Mike?
Well, I missed the first 2 meetings in this building, but I got to catch it on YouTube, and I guess I need to say another great meeting
We love hearing it
in
from
this
you.
building.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Mike, even when you're not here, I always think of you, because I always say, as Mike Storino would say, another great
Great
meeting.
meeting.
Donna?
That's it.
Okay.
Another great meeting.
Another great meeting. Sarah?
No comments, thank you.
More quiet today.
My comment is that I am thrilled to see the young basketball players, the girls coming in here all excited, the little girls. And I mean, I've walked in here on a couple of occasions, and the kids are just thrilled at this building. So I wanted to applaud our staff that, you know, a lot of people are just thrilled with what they're seeing, and that they're excited that the Newlers is still here, and you're offering all kinds of new programs because you have the more space. So, and your fitness thing is going over well. Hopefully that can continue on. I'm hearing good things about the fitness groups that you're got organizing, so I wanted to let you know that.
I just want to take a moment to thank everyone who attended today. It's always nice to have people join us, so thank you for coming. And thank you for commenting. Just another great meeting, so we'll keep that going. Any comments from the village board liaison?
Just 2 things. Thank you for being accommodating on moving this up back a week, because there is a forum next week on Tuesday. And the second piece, just kind of build on what Cheryl said with all the children and whatnot. I get in here probably a few times a week between, 8 and 9 in the morning, or 11 and 12. And I have made a couple friends, up at the gym. So yes, it's wonderful seeing people here, but then you're kind of meeting new people, almost every day if you come. So, we always talk about, what this means for a community. It's not just, programming and activities and whatnot. There's also a very community-focused thing here. So as we get into our first warm bout, or our first warm season here, it's going to be really fun to see how much more, especially with what's going to get in here, how much more interaction it creates. So it's great, love it. That's it.
Thank you. Village staff comments.
I have nothing.
Also, no comments, thank you.
Greg?
Well, just to piggyback on what George was saying, at Iowa, we didn't have the ability for people to drop in throughout the day to work out. So normally the people were coming in after 3 o'clock, except for the senior lunches. We always get a nice crowd over there. So I know it's kind of energized staff throughout the day that we get to walk out of our office and converse with a lot of residents, which we didn't have that opportunity at Iowa. And, Gina reported we were averaging, just for memberships and drop in the track, 160 people a day. It's not including all of our programs. So I know there's 365 days a year and we're closed, but, if you factor that out, that's, 100 and something thousand people, or I think it was, or I forget. I had those numbers.
Yeah, you do the mental math.
I had those
not me.
numbers last month, but anyway, you carry those numbers out. So there's a lot of visits that are happening. So it's really energizing to staff, and we're really happy to provide all these new opportunities to folks. So thank you. That's it.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.
Just doing that.